Hey guys, so a new video which can only mean one thing. We have some new sovereigns and I've got some other coins here to show you today as well because I've got an interesting topic. So I picked up recently a couple of coin books which are essentially like coin catalogues of prices and things and availabilities of coins that were from the 1960s. So the interesting thing about the two sovereigns I've bought today to show you are here and here. So you might have seen a video in the past where I did a Gillick sovereign date run. This is actually my second run of the Gillick sovereigns. So these two are sort of the money coins, if you like. You know, we're only talking bullion, but more recently, sort of since QE2 died, we've seen quite a premium on these two coins. So my first two I picked up just best value bullion sort of thing, no particular premiums, and that was only, last year, maybe 2022, mid 2022 somewhere. And anyway, what happened was after QE2, it seems, suddenly these premiums just jumped up, and people are paying like 20% premium, even more, for the 1957, and similar for the 1959. So the two I had, I sold, took some nice juicy profits, and I've now bought these two back, which not the same two, they're a different two, but I bought them back for just over the sort of bullion sovereign rate at the moment. In fact, I have seen some bullion sovereigns going for actually higher than what I paid for these. So yeah, the sovereign premiums have been higher in general recently, but for these particular coins, I was pretty happy to pick those up. So, brings me on to the next point. The book I mentioned, I've got British coins, 1968 down to 1816, and this is CB's numismatic publication. So, I got two different years, and just because they were both sort of the same seller, and I thought it'd be interesting to compare. So, what I will just do now is I'll just show you. So if you've ever seen a book like this, what you tend to find is, you'll go to the Monarch, you'll go to the available coins, and then in this case we're looking for gold sovereigns. So you can see here, St. George, 1957, extremely fine condition, £6. So what's interesting is to compare the 10 available dates and compare them to each other. So we can see here the 1959 is £1 more. So is that 20% more? It's 20% more than the others. And you'll see here the 1957 is also £1 more. So when you've got the rest at £5 and these two at £6, that's like 20% more in terms of the price. So one of the reasons I picked this book up, I wanted to particularly look at some of the older coins. And you ever smell like an old book? That like old book smell, you know what I mean? I can smell that. Anyway, so yeah, if we look at, say, William, for example, we can go to the gold sovereigns. You can see here the £2 proof would be £500, which at the time in the 60s, it's probably like a deposit for a normal sized house. You could probably buy a bungalow for about £3,000, maybe less. Somebody could perhaps comment who was alive at the time. But yeah, if you look here, an 1831 sovereign in fine condition for £20. So you can compare that to the current years, if you like. So this, as this book was published, these 1967s were like a year or two old. So this is, more or less the bullion price, you would say. And what I find interesting now, in case you're not from the UK, the bullion price is like £360 as a melt, as like scrap. But realistically, people are paying £380 to £390 to even £400. So, yeah, the reason I wanted to get this book in particular was to see like the prices in relation to each other, but also the prices of these in relation to some older sovereigns. So I would like to pick up some of the other portraits, some of the pre-Victoria monarchs, and pick up, some of those to add to my sort of sovereign, I'd say stack, but they are more collection, So at the moment, you're not going to be paying the bullion price for a nice condition, you know, pre-Victoria sovereign, like from the 1820s, 1830s. They just don't come around. You know, people who have nice condition ones, if they are even selling them, you know, they're wanting a heck of a premium. So my plan with that book is to have a look at what the premiums were compared to a bullion one. So if, for example, a bullion sovereign is £5, like we saw, then, you know, comparing that to the price of these 1800s, we can get an idea. Okay, well, the 1800s, perhaps they were trading at like 4 times the bullion price, and then I can work to a modern day price of that, if you like. So I could take a look at, okay, the modern, you know, bullion sovereigns are trading just below 400. So therefore, if the older sovereigns are trading like just below 1600, that's like 4 times the value, isn't it? And that would be an actual, you know, equivalent. So I can get an idea of the sort of trend. Whilst obviously, if you're paying only £1 more than bullion price, or £10 more than bullion price, whilst that is a smaller number, it's more relevant to look at the percentage, because, you know, paying £10 over the bullion price today is not really anything. You know, you can't buy a great deal at all with £10. You know, you wouldn't get a meal out. You might get, you know, a takeout, bit of lunch, maybe a snack, but you're not going to get a great deal with that. So that's the reason why I've bought the books. I'm keen to, you know, have a little look and learn a bit more. So yeah, these couple of sovereigns, they will add to the date run, the second date run, if you like, of my Gilliks. You know, they are popular coins, and like I say, there's a lot to like about them. So yeah, the Queen's Beast you can see in the back, and the Tudor Beast on the right. So when I'm talking about premiums and things gaining appreciation, so things like the Queen's Beast, they were obviously released a little bit over the bullion price, you know, when they were the current year. So back in 2017, ignoring the fact that gold price was lower, you could buy these coins for a little bit more than the Britannias, you know, a little bit more than a Krugerrand again, and so on. Whereas now, you're going to pay a heck of a lot more than you would for a Britannia. So hopefully with the Tudor Beast, that will happen as well. And if it does, maybe I'll just keep these Tudor Beasts because I like them. But I have the option to sell in the future and buy the current year. So I've basically, even if gold price were to shoot up, then I've basically hedged my sort of maximum price to pay for the set. So if you have 10 of these, you know, at the release price, then you could just sell one each time a new release comes out, or trade it with somebody, and you've capped the maximum price. Obviously, if the gold price plummets, and these are, you know, the new ones of these are like £1,200 or £1,300 or £1,400 to buy, I would just buy them and keep these. So either way, it just sort of gives you a maximum outlay for the set. And looking forward to picking up the next one, which I guess should be soon. You know, the last Tudor Beast we saw released in February of last year, the first one, sorry. So I would guess, you know, perhaps later this month, depending on when I release the video. So touch in the comments, what do you think, guys?